Hello, everyone. How you doing? Hope you're doing pretty good out there. Welcome to Brad's Bad Show about games. My name is Brad, and I am not a bounty hunter being recruited by John Jones to stop players from leaving the loop. But that doesn't mean there aren't some coming to the game, as we're going to jump right into right off the bat. It's been a little bit since we've got to talk about Fortnite stuff, I feel like. Because between the season starting and then Operation Snowdown starting, there really hasn't been much to talk about. It's been real slow. But it looks like they're back to regular updates, or will be shortly. This past week. Today is, at the time of recording, it is the 17th of January. So, we're about to halfway before starting the next week. I think it should be week 8 of season 5. But it's been a while since we've heard of some new characters coming, at least since the Game Awards. So, where we got the 2 characters from Walking Dead and Master Chief. Well, when we first started the season for the Battle Pass, we finally, which I guess I should say, before we start into the thing about the skins, there was an issue when the season started. I don't know, did I talk about this the last time? I feel like it's been a little bit. I don't remember the last time I talked about any of this stuff. I know the last show I talked mostly about Nintendo and DMCA takedowns, but that's something else. Anyway, long story short, there was a problem with the subscriber service, the Fortnite crew service, and some people didn't get their skin. Some people did get the skin and didn't get their V-Bucks, but they gave everybody, after they fixed it all, so apparently now everybody's stuff is fixed, but apparently they fixed it all, and now they gave everybody a 500 V-Buck bonus for the delay. So that was nice. Always nice when they, reward you for delays and stuff. And they eventually added in a members-only emote, so you can only get this emote if you are a part of the crew. So that's nice. I think you've got a month to claim that. All you got to do is sign into the game. So anyway, that's that. Let's move on to the main event story. There's the supposed hunters coming. Except this first one isn't supposed anymore, it's confirmed. The secret skin for this season's Battle Pass has been kept completely under wraps. There's been no progression. The last 3 Battle Passes, they pretty much announced right off the bat who the secret skin was. So, I started playing in Season 2, so the Battle Pass, they pretty much advertised it as the main drawing point, was Deadpool. The second season, Aquaman. The third season was Aquaman. Fourth season was Wolverine. And all of these were advertised in advance as part of the Battle Pass. There's no hidden anything. It's not a secret. But this season, they kept it a secret. Until this week, when we first started, when the first update went up, and people data mined the first 3 rewards for the Battle Pass, which is 9 rewards in total for this skin. And it confirms that the Battle Pass secret skin is the Predator. Now, I don't really know too much specifically about the Predator, but I do know enough to be excited for it. An alien bounty hunter. I like the design of the character. I've seen it plenty of times. I think the Predator's even been in Mortal Kombat, I want to say. I could be wrong about that, but I feel like I feel like that had to have happened. But anyway, if you go to the stronghold, the big jungle stronghold there, everybody had already talked about how there were Easter eggs of the Predator already in the map. Well, now the Predator's ship is in the map. He's already there. And if you go into the stronghold, you can hear the Predator's roars and sound effects. Its signature clicking sounds that it makes in the films and everything. So though you can't see him, you can't fight him yet. Supposedly he will be an NPC on the island, maybe a boss. The Predator in the canon of the story is on the island already, but he's a master camouflage. I think the Predator actually, which it's when I say the Predator, it's actually like a whole race that I guess they collectively refer to as predators, but they do have like some unofficial names or something. I tried to look this up the other day, just because I wanted to know. But anyway, that's cool. I'm excited to see that. I've seen the Predator with them. There's supposed to be two variants, a masked version and a maskless version. I think I prefer the masked version because I get it. Like the faceless version is kind of gruesome looking, to say put it nicely. But yeah, I think I would rather play with the mask on. Sort of like Deadpool. Like, I appreciate the fact that they give you that option to have the mask or maskless version, and that's cool, but I prefer the one with the mask. Just looks better in my opinion. So yeah, that's fun. The current gameplay countdown has the rest of the rewards for the Predator being available to unlock in 3 days. So I'm guessing that will be on Wednesday. That's when the first set of rewards dropped. So we should see the rewards in game on Thursday. And supposedly it will be the rest of them. So 6 instead of 3. But who knows? They could always change that. But that's about all I got for that. There will be a portal appearing outside of the stronghold, though people are suspecting that it may not be for the Predator. It may actually be for somebody else, because technically the Predator's already on the island because his ship is there. If you go in the stronghold, you can hear him in there. But and the theory as to who that is for is potentially the Terminator, because one of the Easter eggs from the beginning of the season for Agent Jonesy's bag that got somehow made its way into the real world, sunglasses were one of the Easter eggs. And of course, the Terminator wears sunglasses. I think that could also be thinking about it now, it probably does make more sense for it to be the Terminator. I had originally thought it would be Duke Nukem would be who the sunglasses were referring to, but I think Terminator would be a bigger deal. I think more people would be excited, or at least would like. I think in terms of name recognition, the Terminator probably, safe to say, has more name recognition than Duke Nukem. It's not a slight against, Duke Nukem or Duke Nukem fans or anything like that. It's just, it's Arnold. So, I do think that that's what it's going to be a reference to. I think we probably will see the Terminator. Another portal supposed to be coming in some future update at Steamy Stacks that some people will say is supposed to be a female skin. And the theory there is that it will be Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. I would be fine with that. I would be perfectly fine with that. But that's all kind of just speculation, though. The only real thing to tie the Terminator to the game right now that you could say is possibly a hint to him coming is they added a shotgun. I can't remember what it's called. The heavy lever shotgun or something like that. I don't remember what it's exactly called. But it's, as everybody pointed out, it's the same shotgun that the Terminator uses. So that could be a hint that he's coming. But as far as Lara, that's about it. All we know is this is a female skin coming that's associated with that rift. That's all we know. But the next thing, though, is a curious tease of who the next month's crew member skin is. And all signs seem to be pointing to it being the female Midas that was created by, I believe it's the user, let me pull it up, Kitsune X Kitsu from Twitter. She designed the female Midas, and it looks like that is going to be our next skin based on what Epic has posted about it. They said they weren't ready to reveal it quite yet, but to look forward to it, and they posted the fox emoji and the shush emoji. But then there's also a post a post elsewhere where they post the fox emoji and the crown emoji. And people have pointed out in the past, Fortnite has used the crown emoji to reference Midas because of his association with the King Midas legend and all that. But the fox is the fox emoji would obviously be a reference to the username on here from Twitter of the female Midas concept creator Kitsune Kitsu, which is of course Japanese for fox. And I believe I've seen fan art of the. I was looking earlier, and I have seen people draw fan art of the female Midas doing the shush thing, but I've only seen one, so I don't know if that's a direct reference or what. So. But yeah, this was already going to be a skin anyway because there's no other reason for this loading screen that I've got here to be in the game. There's no reason for that to be in the game as part of the. And the weird part is it's part of the battle pass, so I don't know. It's probably just incentive to try to, encourage you to get the the Fortnite crew membership. But the timing would add up pretty good. Somebody pointed out that there aren't enough epic quests to get this in the game yet. And it probably won't be after this week either. It'll be the last week of January, which will be 3 days. You're supposed to get the skin on the 31st. And then on the 1st, I think it is, or the 2nd, you'll get your V-Bucks or something like that. But, so at the end of the month, at least for me, that's how it is. I don't know if it's different for everybody or if they've just fixed it that way. But anyway, so Thursday would be the 28th is when there should be, at that point, enough epic quests to complete to get this loading screen, which is just 3 days before the skin should drop for crew members. So that makes sense. Plus the clues with the fox and the crown and the shush emojis. I think that's going to be a thing. And before I move on, the Tomb Raider account did tweet out put out an emoji tweet recently in the same sort of way that Fortnite and Epic usually tease upcoming collaboration skins. I don't remember seeing Epic directly interact with that. They did form it in like a thought bubble, so it wasn't just plain, emojis, but it was the 3 emoji standard that we're used to seeing when they promoted all the other like big skins. I remember doing it for Captain America, and they did it for Thor for the new season or the last season. And so I do think Lara could be there's a good chance Lara could be one of the bounty hunters that shows up. She would definitely fit. But yeah, I think it's going to be female Midas this time. For the crew members. At first, I was thinking that might be the secret skin, but I think we know now who the secret skin is, so I think this is where they're going to go with it. So that's all the Fortnite talk, at least for now. I imagine that by the time the next update runs, and with them going back to regular updates, apparently they've already been teasing or testing update 15.50, which is kind of crazy. We're only right now on 15.2. So, and there's going to be a 2.1. So, there's a lot of updates coming. It seems now that they've gotten the Christmas event over with, they're going to just roll right on through with this season-related stuff. But oh well. We got a nice little trailer dropped for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which kind of took everybody by surprise. I've beaten 3D World on the Wii U, and I still think that in terms of gameplay, I think that 3D Land is better. But it was fun to play 3D World. But this Bowser's Fury edition seems to be a standalone extra thing that is its own sort of deal. And in it, you team up with Bowser Jr. of all characters on this big cat-themed island, which seems to give you more control. In 3D World, you don't. In 3D Land and 3D World, you don't control the camera. In this game, in Bowser's Fury, it looks like you get to control the camera. So that's interesting. And that definitely sets it apart from the main game. But the big thing that everybody was blown away by is this new form for Bowser, which is known as, I think, it's just known as Fury Bowser or something like that. I can't remember what they said its name was. But in Japan, he's known as Godslayer Bowser. And that's hilarious. It's kind of sad that we don't get like those edgier names because they don't want to call something Godslayer over here. But he looks vicious. This is a vicious looking Bowser. This is Godslayer Bowser is way more intimidating than Giga Bowser. Like, he looks like Gigantamax Charizard and Dark Beast Ganon from Breath of the Wild. It's that same sort of inspired, take something intimidating and then turn it up to 11. I mean, he's huge. He's blowing fire. And I think that's an interesting idea to give him this sort of really monstrous, terrifying form. Sort of contrast Bowser's normally sort of goofy, sort of thing. No, it's kind of like how they do Ganondorf and Ganon, where Ganondorf is the he plans things out. He's very, very strategic about the things that he does. But then when he's Ganon, he loses all control. And so that's sort of the same sort of idea, I think, with Bowser here, in that Bowser's sort of a goofy villain, in a way. If you just think back at like Mario Odyssey, where he's wearing a tux and he fights you with a hat with boxing gloves. And his whole point is to force Peach to marry him. And this will probably not lead to be a recurring thing. It will probably be just for this game, but I wouldn't be sad to see this come back. But Bowser has different power-ups depending on the game. So, and it's actually like a common occurrence too for Bowser to become bigger. Like, Bowser was huge, I remember, in Sunshine, if I remember right. He was huge in Galaxy. He actually grew in Paper Mario. Excuse me. In Paper Mario, he used the Star Rod to make himself bigger and invincible. But, this will be fun. I look forward to playing this game at some point. Got so many games. I'm trying to get a bunch more games finished. But anyway, cool design for Bowser. And I'm curious, I assume that Bowser Jr. is helping you because he's trying to get his dad to regain his senses. That's what would make the most sense to me. With that, news came out that Japan has had to delay the opening of Super Nintendo Land, of course, due to the coronavirus. Sadly, that's, I guess when you think about it, it's probably way too early to try to welcome so many people in, to have to try to push that back. I mean, they're trying to roll out a vaccine and everything, and they don't want to go too early. So, it's sad, but it's for the better, The park apparently is complete if they were going to open it next month. Either complete or nearing completion. So, it'll be there when it's safe. So that's all we got to know. I don't know if they're still building the one in Orlando. Last I heard, it was indefinitely postponed. So who knows? But yeah, we're going to be waiting to see the inside of Nintendo Land. Something that's completely out of the blue, but should be welcome, is apparently Square Enix has changed their, I guess you would say, community use fair lines or something like fair lines. What am I saying? Basically, what has happened is Square Enix has said you can use you can create your own content with Dragon Quest content now. And according to the person who reported it, it effectively says that fair use, or Japan's equivalent of fair use, which we have in the US, will apply to Dragon Quest now. So if you were worried about monetizing videos for Dragon Quest playthroughs, or any sort of content using Dragon Quest elements, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And I saw that the main reaction to this one, of course, being that, hey, more companies realizing people playing our games and making content with our games puts more eyes on our games and will further incentivize people to buy them. But I also saw people talking about how this also sort of gets back at the composer for Dragon Quest, who I can't remember right now what it is he did. I might just let me look that up. It's going to annoy me if I don't know. I'm looking. Oh, okay, here it is. The composer for Dragon Quest, his name is Koichi Sugiyama. And this is from Wikipedia, the most reliable source on the internet. But I'll take it as this is probably accurate. Age 89. Um, he said some. Hang on. Reading this. Anyway, I know he said stuff about apparently he denied a massacre of something. Something about Japanese patriotism or nationalism or something. All I know is he's very disliked. Also, something about LGBT families and having kids, something like that. It's a big mess, and I know that people don't like him. But add to that, apparently, something about the music though. Also, people were really annoyed with like he's very controlling of the way the music he composes for the game is released. So like Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, we've got 8 tracks from the games, but not the original orchestral music. So like he controls that apparently completely. Like Dragon Quest 8 on the 3DS, the port for the 3DS, does not use his orchestral score. It uses a, what is it, MIDI, I guess it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically a rearrangement in like a computer program that's meant to simulate the instruments or emulate the instruments instead of like an actual orchestra recording the music. Which is sad because it's really good music. I mean, it's really good music. But yeah, that's disappointing. But people are like, well, he can't really control that now. Square Enix has said, hey, you want to put our game in? Want to use our game? Go right ahead. So it is what it is. But that's nice that Square has allowed Dragon Quest, because Dragon Quest is, from what I understand, the most popular RPG in Japan. So, and of course, artwork by Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, and Dr. Slump, for those out there who like Dr. Slump. But we also got a new trailer for Pokemon, new Pokemon Snap, I'd be corrected. A new trailer for New Snap. Now, to my understanding, there will be around 200 Pokemon in the game. That's a lot. It was originally, the original game had 63. It was originally 64. Number 64 was Ekans, but they cut Ekans and a desert level, which apparently I guess is still in like the beta data or whatever, or an early build or something like that. I think Ekans is still in the game files, but I'm not sure. I've seen YouTube videos of the abandoned desert level and the Ekans model that was supposed to be in the game, but I don't know if they were completely removed from the final version or if they're still there. But 200 Pokemon. I think I read that that the courses don't stay the same, and as far as like Pokemon will react differently. If you go back, then you can interact with Pokemon in different ways, and I would assume different Pokemon at different times or whatever. So that's kind of my hope, is that the levels will be randomized. Just, you never know what Pokemon's going to be there in certain areas. That was one of my hopes for the game, is to make the levels a little bit more unpredictable, because when you play Pokemon Snap, the original one, everything stays the same. There's no surprises. Everything is right where it is every single time you go into the game or into a level. And I'm wondering if we might get split, paths this time. And I'm also wondering about DLC, because almost every game these days gets DLC and additional content. So that'll be interesting to see if we probably get more levels, which will include more Pokemon, because there's like almost 1,000 Pokemon now, and 200, while definitely a lot, and will keep people busy for a while, that's still a lot of Pokemon missing. So it'll be interesting to see what it is. But visually, the game looks phenomenal. It's a great looking game. Can't wait to try it out. They did some sort of thing where the vehicle landed up in like a flower field, and the little protag guy was looking around, and then suddenly a glowing Meganium showed up behind him. So I'm curious to see what that's about. If these are like special events that you can find, or only happen once in a while. That'll be interesting to see what that is. This is a new region too, so that will be fun. But that also led to something else. That wasn't the only thing Pokemon that was going around. Rumor has it that there will be Generation 4 remakes on the Switch, and that they will be announced next month. Now, I do know that February is traditionally the month that Game Freak has announced new games. I've gone back and looked at that before. I don't know how much I want to believe this. Supposedly there are domains for this, and that was part of the evidence to suggest that this is coming. I don't know if I'm ready to believe this, though, because I'm not convinced that we're done with Sword and Shield yet. I feel like there might be one more set of DLC coming, a DLC Pack 3, or maybe even 4. I don't know that for sure, but I just feel like we're not done with Sword and Shield yet. Not all of the Pokemon have been added to that, and I guess they don't necessarily need to do a whole nother DLC expansion to add them. But I just feel like we're not there yet. We're not done with Sword and Shield yet. I just feel that in my gut. But it would be interesting, to say the least. Pokemon Platinum is one of my favorite games in the entire series. I love the whole deal with going to the reverse. The distortion world and Giratina's origin form. I love that Giratina and the Giratina's origin form specifically is one of my favorite Pokemon. It just looks super cool. But and I kind of hate that they don't really like this whole idea you go to another dimension, and they played with that in the last generation with the Ultra Beasts and traveling through dimensions and all. And I think they even brought up the Sinnoh trio and how they all are Pokemon that exist outside of this dimension as well. Of course, Giratina has its own dimension where it lives, so that's something. But yeah, who knows? We could get both. I do know that any Pokemon that they add to Diamond and Pearl, they'll probably update Sword and Shield to include. So maybe this is why they were trying to finish Sword and Shield and move on so they could start on Diamond and Pearl remakes. I don't know that, but just an idea. But like I said, I think we could possibly get this announcement next month, but I also feel like we're not done with Sword and Shield either. So I don't know. Both could happen. Neither may happen. So just things to think about. But I'm out of topics. That's all I was going to do. I kind of ran through these topics today, but I guess it's not as many as I thought there was. But anyway, so got a lot to look forward to. A lot to be excited about. And yeah, fun times ahead. So anyway, thanks for listening. And we will see you next time. And hopefully we'll know a little bit more about the hunters coming to Fortnite and whether or not we're getting Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes. Oh, until then, later.